Thank you again for being here. It's really my pleasure to welcome you. We're going to be doing essentially three things here tonight. One is sharing the story of a couple of our students. Another part is obviously raising money for financial aid, and the third part is honoring Russell Lau and his family.
So I think some of you have already been online and have seen the website. There are some magnificent gifts there, things that you can win if you're the high bidder. What you guys are doing here tonight, raising money for Asset School, is just fantastic. Big mahalo to all of you. Just by being here, you're already helping out. And I know you've already spent a bunch of time over here looking at the various items you can bid on, and you're buying bottles of wine and buying those raffle tickets. So thank you for all you're doing. It is such a wonderful cause.
But if Russell could come up and Connie could come up, we have the Managing Director of the City and County of Honolulu, Mike Formby, here.
Now, therefore, I, Rick Blangiardi, Mayor of the City and County of Honolulu, do hereby proclaim April 13th, 2024 to be Russell and Connie Lau Ohana Day in the advancement of Asset School, and it's signed Rick Blangiardi.
I now have the pleasure of introducing Jordan McKenzie, who is a senior at Assets.
I applied to Assets at the urging of one of the former Assets teachers and my 5th grade teacher, and I interviewed with Miss Sandy. She made me feel super comfortable and cared during my interview. When I started at Assets, I learned that everybody was learning at different rates. I learned tools to help me read and write much better, and I've learned to advocate for myself when I need help and additional time and accommodations.
Because, I think when you have a kid that doesn't necessarily fit the mold of certain kind of educational system, to find a sense of belonging where he can thrive is so important. So huge mahalo, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks.
But, I wanted to open tonight with a quote. When I was a kid, I thought this quote was about assets. Turns out it's not, but let's see if anyone can figure out what it's actually from. Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Now, does anyone know where this is from? It is. It's from the 1997 Apple Think Different commercial. I'm sorry I don't have any prizes for you. But now in 1997, I was 9 years old, so you'll have to forgive me for thinking this was about assets. But I think the reason that this quote speaks to me and, stays with me as an adult is that it really frames thinking differently as not just a crutch, but as a source of strength. Recently I had the good fortune to attend a talk by an Assets parent where they talked about the trials and tribulations that they went through in dealing with their child's learning disability. One of the coping strategies that they talked about was talking about their child's learning disability as a superpower. And they did this because their kid is a fan of Marvel movies where the heroes have to learn how to control their powers over the course of the movie. Now, nobody starts out great at it. Maybe an explosion goes off at the wrong time or a web goes off in the wrong place. But by the end of the movie, all of the heroes have all learned how to use their powers for good. What was once a source of embarrassment is now a force for good. This is what Assets taught me. As you guys heard in the video, I have several graduate degrees, and I have to tell you that none of them have been as important to me as Assets. In law school, I learned the Socratic method, and I learned how to think critically. In business school, I learned how to read a balance sheet and how to work together with a team and how to lead one. In computer science, I learned how to write a program and how to design algorithms. But it was at Assets that I learned how to learn, and that's a skill that I use all day, every day. Assets didn't just give me skill sets, it gave me lifelong friendships too. In fact, I met my best friend, who I've stayed in touch with till today at Assets. And he's actually here tonight with his family, also Asset supporters, Sean Dunham. And And of course, where would I be without my good friend Sandy Tadaki, who really saw me through my time in assets. But of course, none of this would be possible without the man we're all here to celebrate. The one who 28 years ago realized he had a particularly difficult child. And when he realized that, he didn't give up on him like everyone else was about to. Instead, he found assets and has been with them ever since. You know, I can only hope that I can make him half as proud of me as I am of him today. I love you, Dad.
I want to thank all of you people here. I want to thank particularly the teachers at Asset School. This school really does give back to the community. It's unique, it's rare. Thank you, and please donate if you can to this school. Thank you.
1,000 now. I got 1,000.
So I just would like to thank you all again, and I know that tonight was a great night for Asset School. It's really going to be a wonderful gift that you've given to all these kids who are going to need that financial support going forward. But this is just one night. Keep assets in mind. We hope to see you again next year. Thanks for your continued support. We appreciate it.